slow. The Spence right on Bussi with another save. That was Batherson who jumped in and made the shot. Carolina come the other way. Jarvis lowers the shoulder, cuts, he scores! Oh, roll the highlight reel for Seth Jarvis. Staal's open. Staal on a break. Staal shoots and scores! The captain picks the corner. He's got a 4-game point streak and the 4th goal of the game for the Canes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Gold. This is the Canes Corner podcast. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I almost said the full word aluminum there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. You should check them out for all of your exterior home improvement needs. AluminumCompany.com, siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm daughters, gutter helmet. I say that a lot. Storm daughters. There's nothing. They don't do that. They do, however, do incredibly cool front porch posts. We got, I don't know, 8 of them. 8 of them? 8 of them, something like that. Dynamite work. They do great work, so you should check them out. Boy, that was a fun game. I'm not really sure how much fun the head coach had because it wasn't the type of game I think he really likes. Carolina did not have the puck a lot. They weren't dominated in the game, but they were certainly not the way, they did not play the game that Rod normally would like them to play. But a lot of that is the Ottawa Senators are playing at a very high level right now. They had won 4 in a row coming in, beat Vegas, they beat Colorado, beat New Jersey, which isn't that hard these days. And they just won in Pittsburgh before coming here. But somehow Carolina got 4 and Ottawa got 3. Well, I mean, we understand how. Brandon Bussi was the better of the 2 goalies tonight. We've been able to say that a lot this year. So this is a game in which, again, you run the risk of disparaging the way Carolina played. Carolina was good tonight. They just weren't as good as Ottawa. Ottawa played really, really well. Had Brandon Bussi not made, 8, 9 dynamite saves and gotten a little bit of good fortune and some help from his friends, had Bussi not played as well, I mean, this probably ends up, 6-4 Ottawa win, given if Carolina scored all the goals, that they did score. I think there were 6 goals in this game for the Ottawa Senators. They only had 25 shots on goal. But at 5-on-5, they had 17 grade A scoring chances. That seems like a pretty high number. Carolina doesn't usually give up that much in terms of quality scoring chances. As it turned out, they didn't have any high danger chances on the power play. They had 2 power play goals. Neither were high danger opportunities. Although, I mean, again, that's all about distance. I mean, the Tim Stützle shot, which was a great shot. I still think Brandon Bussi probably should have stopped it. Either way, it doesn't matter. He made so many big saves, you cut him a break because of that. Because, honestly, you don't have a chance to win the game if he doesn't play as well as he did. And he causes his own problems, too. He gave the puck away a couple of times tonight, including one where he was caught well out. And all I could think of was like, yeah, I miss Pyotr Kochetkov too. Brandon Buschetkov. I don't know what he was doing in the first period. But the Hurricanes, they survived and they got the win. And we'll talk about Brandon Bussi in a minute. There's a bunch of things that I want to talk about. And here's what we don't do enough of on this podcast. We don't talk enough about what kind of a monster season Jordan Staal is having. I don't know why we don't talk, because it's not sexy. There's nothing that Jordan Staal does other than the little things that help you win. There's nothing that Jordan Staal does that is sexy, necessarily. But his goal with just over 5 minutes to go in the third period that gave Carolina the 4-3 lead is just one indication of the kind of season he's having. So he's got 14 goals. Carolina just played their 56th game tonight. He's missed a couple this year, I believe. You can see, remember he had meningitis earlier this year. Staal, meningitis, he's out. Anyway, he's got 14 goals. He had 13 last year. His Hurricanes high for a season is 20. I'd like to be able to say that he's going to get that. I don't know. He might not score another goal the rest of the season. He goes through some droughts. But that's not really, you don't want him to not score, but that's not really the value he brings to the team. But, he plays 17 and a half minutes tonight. You'd like to see him on the score sheet, and he was. But here's the thing about Staal, and we'll just touch on the goals here first. 14 goals this year. 8 of his 14 goals gave Carolina the lead, broke a tie. 8 of his 14 goals. 12 of the 14 either broke a tie or achieved a tie. So 14 goals and 12 of them really mattered. And this is not to disparage anybody else who gets empty net goals or scores, the fourth goal that gives you a 5-0, a 5-1 lead or whatever. That didn't make much sense there. Fourth goal that gives you a 4-0 lead. There's no empty calories with Jordan Staal. None. So he won 11 of his 19 faceoffs tonight. I guess it was 11 of 9, 11 of 20 faceoffs tonight. He had with 55%. He had 6 hits. He was tremendous tonight. Absolutely tremendous tonight. And that really is the kind of season that he is having. With Nick Ehlers on that line has become more productive offensively. By the way, we got to talk about the pass that Ehlers made to Staal for the goal. And think about that. Think about the goal for a second. Because we know that Carolina, really, if you look at the third period, that was the low event period for the game. Ottawa had generated a ton of looks all game long. Carolina was outshot in every period. I wonder when the last time that happened was. It might have been a couple of games ago when they got outshot by Washington 42-22. I guess it did happen a couple of games ago. But Ottawa outshot Carolina in all 3 periods. And you're in the third period. You had the lead going in. Now it's 3-3 based on a couple of power play goals. And you really haven't gotten to your offense. You had 1 shot on goal in the first handful of minutes and nothing the rest of the way until Jordan Staal's shot that beat James Reimer glove side for the 4-3 lead. That was the second shot on goal of the period for Carolina. And the last one of the game. Honestly, that's crazy good. Was it the last one of the game? I think it's probably worth looking at, don't you think? Yes, that was the last one of the game. Carolina had 9 shots on goal in the first period, 7 in the second period, and 2 in the third period. That was the kind of a game that Carolina had tonight. The truth is that they should have generated a lot more. They just didn't. There were too many opportunities that Carolina passed up, theoretically in search of a better shot, and in almost every single one of those cases, they got no shot. Jackson Blake, as a matter of fact, I put this on Twitter earlier tonight. If passing up good shots or great shots, because most of these were great opportunities. If passing up great shots were goals, Carolina might have won this game 13-3. There were so many chances that Carolina decided not to take in search of a better shot. Rod Brindamore talks about this a lot. Like, we're trying to make the perfect play, the perfect pass for a tap-in, whereas James Reimer's going to give you rebounds. Shoot it. Go get it. When Carolina is playing their game, that's how they score a lot of goals. Finding rebounds. And I don't know why they forgot about it today. Jackson Blake passed up a shot, basically, about level with the hash marks just to the right of it. Just passed it up. I don't know what he was doing, but he passed up the shot. Seth Jarvis passed up a shot like that right before he scored the goal that made it 3-1. I didn't understand what Seth was doing. Like, dude, just shoot that. Just shoot it. He was trying to drop it, I think, for Andre. But that's what Carolina did for most of the game. Nick Ehlers had an incredible opportunity, basically at the right faceoff dot, and tried to make a pass across through sticks. Like, never got there. Just shoot that. Just shoot it. That's what Carolina needed to do more of tonight. And, I mean, there were goals in the game for Carolina because they did not generate many shots off of their opportunities. And the way, like, the analytics sites work, it's not a chance if you don't shoot it. Even though, man, that was a good opportunity for Carolina. Yeah, but you have to shoot the puck for it to be a scoring chance. Anyway, there was a ton of that in this game. But in the third period, after really doing very little other than just kind of chipping the puck back out after it was 3-3 on the Sanderson goal, you find that opportunity. Ehlers with a sublime stretch pass to the captain. And this is your captain. This is not Aho. It's not Svechnikov. It's not Jarvis. It's not Ehlers. It's not Blake. It's not Stankoven. It's not Hall. It's not one of the guys you expect to score that goal. It's the captain. And he made no mistake. Beat Reimer glove side. 14th goal of the season. There were just over 5 minutes left. It was a phenomenal play and a great finish. And again, I gave you the numbers before. Captain Clutch was all over this. All over it. It was awesome. Awesome to see. So good for the captain. It's nice to see. It's nice to see him getting his flowers, as the kids say. Top line was really good tonight. Top line, like, Carolina gave up a lot. So analytically speaking, it's not going to look good. But I thought the top line was very good. It is interesting, though. They did not play a lot for them. I mean, Sebastian Aho played under 17 minutes. Seth Jarvis played under 16 minutes. Andrei Svechnikov was about the same. That's not the way Rod Brindamore normally does it, especially, with a day off. You would have thought that line would have played, close to 20. But I do think that Travis Green limited the Stützle line, and that was the Aho matchup. And I think Rod was afraid that if he sent the Aho line out against, let's just say, the fourth line for the Senators, or even the third line, if he sent the Aho line out against somebody else, then as soon as that shift was over, that the Stützle line was coming out. Because honestly, Stützle didn't play a ton either. I was surprised at how little Ottawa's top line played. Just looking at the box score, Stützle played 18:35. And a lot of that was power play time. So because the Senators had three power plays? Three power plays. They did score on two, which was a little bit of a surprise considering the way Carolina's penalty kill has been playing. But yeah, I was just surprised to see how low Aho's line's ice time was. But, ultimately, they made a ton of good plays. And then, honestly, Seth Jarvis at the very end, I thought Jarvis, the play of the game, maybe, certainly the defensive play of the game, when Jarvis lifted the stick and took the puck away from Brady Tkachuk, who was very quiet in this game. Just a great defensive play by Jarvis. It just demonstrates everything that he does. He scores the 2 goals. Honestly, early in the third period had Carolina's best score. That was the scoring chance in the third period. That was the shot on goal in the third period. I have to go back and look when that happened, but it was incredibly early. It was probably in the first maybe minute and a half of the period. The top line created a ton of pressure, came up with steals, and ultimately Jarvis has the puck right on his stick alone in front of Reimer, and he couldn't beat him. Reimer made a very good save. If you could extend to 4-2 there, obviously you feel a lot better about the way, your position, because you don't want to leave it a one-shot hockey game, but they did, and then it was a one-shot hockey game either way. Fortunately, Carolina was able to get that goal, but Jarvis had a great opportunity to get a hat trick here and maybe put the game away, but again, there was a lot of time left. But the top line played really, really well. Jarvis, 2 goals, now is 25. They don't call that a steal somehow. I don't even know what it is if it's not a steal. When he took the puck from Brady Tkachuk right at the death. He had 4 shots on goal. Played great. Sebastian Aho had a goal and 2 assists. Wasn't awesome in the faceoff circle, but he won key ones, right? He won the faceoff on his goal. He wins it back to Miller. Miller takes the shot. Aho follows it, puts it back onto Reimer. Then it caroms off of him, off of a defenseman, and in. Just kind of trickled across the line. And that was such a big goal because Carolina really was not. I thought Ottawa was, even though the shots seemed very even, and I guess they were 11-9, relatively even. I thought Ottawa had tons of great scoring chances early. Carolina did too, but man, did Carolina give up a lot of chances to the Senators early. But Aho was a +2. He also had 2 hits and 2 shots on goal. Andrei Svechnikov, I thought, played a very solid game tonight. He had an assist. The pass to Jarvis and the power play goal was dynamite. 4 hits. He was a +2 tonight. Carolina's got themselves a legitimate top line. Is it, McKinnon, Lehkonen, and Natchez? No, because this is McKinnon. It's not McDavid and whoever, because it's not McDavid. But when you go down and you look at, who are the really good lines in the NHL? The really good top lines. Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis are fantastic. And the good thing is that they play both ends of the rink. You can trust that they are going to play both ends. And I think Andre's played his best hockey ever this year. It is incredibly cool to see. A very good friend of mine once told me that the Hurricanes won't be a true contender until Andre becomes their best forward. Well, he's not their best forward because I don't think he is better than Jarvis or Aho. But Andre is playing like a true top-line power forward. And when you've got that, and he's got some scoring confidence, and you get the setting up for goals. Again, that pass to Jarvis was perfect. Threaded through the diagonal, a diagonal pass through the center of the penalty kill. right to Jarvis, who was drifting in to make it 2-1 Carolina. Man, if Bussi could have gotten the save on Stützle on that power play late in the second period, which I think he should have had, we can debate this all day long, and I am absolutely not throwing any shade on Carolina's MVP of this season. There's no second choice. There's zero second choice for who the MVP is of this team. We'll get to it. We'll talk more about Bussi in a second. But that top line was really, really good. And honestly, if you look at Natural Stat Trick, they don't look necessarily like they had a good night because they gave up more shots than they took. They gave up more scoring chances than they created, although I guess one of those is a power play goal. I'm not sure you create a better scoring chance than what Jarvis had and buried. And then the other one that we talked about early in the third period that he just doesn't beat Reimer on. And I did wonder if that goal, the first goal, was actually Jarvis's or not, but it must not have hit him. I haven't studied the Zapruder tape on the Aho goal that got Carolina on the board. But, I mean, it just caromed off of Reimer, off of the defenseman who was tangled up with Jarvis. And then it trickles in for the goal. Two more things, maybe three more things I want to get to. So we'll see how quickly I can do this. Brandon Bussi. He was my second star. For those people who care about such matters, and some of you argue with me on, well, actually, I'm not really responding to it now, but for those people who hit me up on Twitter, how can you do this for stars or that? How did you forget this person? Blah, blah, blah. My 3 stars for the game tonight were Aho third, Bussi second, Jarvis first. Bussi did not get one of the stars in the building. I get it. We got a lot of stars. And the captain was great. I gave him my player of the game, which some nights is like the super first star. But Brandon Bussi was excellent tonight. And if he doesn't play as well as he did in the first period, even though he created the scoring chance for Ottawa that he had to deal with in one of the cases. But I thought that they have no chance to win the game if he doesn't play well. None. They are not winning the game if he doesn't play as well as he did. So many big, big saves. So here's Bussi, 22, 3 and 1. 22, 3 and 1 on the season. He is tied for third in the NHL in wins. His 22 wins ties him with John Gibson of Detroit, Jake Ottinger of the Dallas Stars, and Jeremy Swayman of the Boston Bruins. They all have 22 wins as well. Swayman has started 38 games. Ottinger and Gibson have each started 36. Bussi just started his 26th game, and he's got 22 wins. He has a knack for making that save. Whether it's I believe, no, actually, we didn't even play it. We didn't play it yet. This is a self-inflicted flirt.
Cousins, back for Zoo. That's tipped out in front. Bussi will make the save as Nick Cousins deflected that out in front. A little snow angel for the bus driver.
That wasn't the save I was going for. The save I was going for was one where he goes behind the net to he comes out to play the puck. He has no business coming out to play the puck unless you're going to get it out of the zone. He does not do that. And he is 35 feet from his net. And Ottawa doesn't have the puck yet, but it's available. And Bussi is 35 feet from the front of his goal. Well, you might expect what happened. and it became a mad scramble, and he made a great save to avoid a goal. But honestly, it should have been a goal. There were probably 4 occasions in the game that should have ended up in Ottawa goals that didn't. And in every one of the cases, even though maybe the play isn't all about the save that Brandon Bussi made, he made a save in every single one of those situations. And sometimes he got a break. Like one ended with a shot off the post. One ended with, I think, Jarvis getting his skate to a shot. Not quite like Drew Doughty yesterday or Sunday in Carolina's win over the LA Kings. But Bussi made several scrambling saves. And then I can't even explain the one at the end because essentially I did the surrender Cobra stance because I could not believe he made
Giroux, 45 seconds left. Samson, Bussi there. Bussi gets across and makes the save. The Canes clear this one out. He just keeps making big saves, Brandon Bussi.
He toe-picked and still found a way to make a grand pure two-pad stack save.
He is very underrated as an athlete. His quickness is, I think, better than you might expect. It is just incredible. 22 wins in 26 starts for Brandon Bussi. The secondary numbers, the goals against average, the save percentage, those are in line with, most of the good goalies. He's not elite. He's certainly not elite in the save percentage category. The goals against average is pretty elite in terms of, who the best are this year. He's just been amazing. When I said he's Carolina's MVP, think about this. Given the injury to Pyotr Kochetkov, given the fact that Caden Primo started the season in the Toronto organization and eventually has come back and is now in the minor leagues and playing relatively well. But Primo's recent NHL data doesn't belie somebody who would be good in the NHL. He just has NHL experience, and Carolina was always looking at Caden Primo as a third goalie anyway. Kochetkov hurt. Primo not even here, and also not great when he was in the NHL. We all know what kind of year Frederik Andersen has had. And all Brandon Bussi has done, the man who was acquired, claimed off waivers October 5th after the exhibition season was over, 4 days before the start of the Hurricanes' regular season. Brandon Bussi has 22 wins and 26 starts. How on earth is that? The Hurricanes are, I don't know, with the Devils if it's not for Bussi. I don't think they're where the Rangers are, but I don't know. We all know that Freddie was no good for a good solid, 6 weeks. It's beyond an explanation for Brandon Bussi. And I'm here for whatever happens with this guy. It is just tremendous. One more item from the game that I think was interesting to me anyway. I looked at the time on ice after 2 periods. Sebastian Aho had played 10:30. That's it. Sometimes he plays that in a period. 10 minutes and 30 seconds for Aho. But he played 6 minutes in the third period. Jordan Staal played 7 minutes and 20 seconds of the third period. Logan Stankoven played a shade under 5 minutes. And Mark Jankowski, who I think has played very well. I think that line has played very well. Jankowski only played 127 of the third. I think in some ways Rod Brindamore was trying to save the Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis line just so he knew he could have them always against Stützle. And it wasn't until late that got away, that the Stützle line had a little bit more ice time. But man, just a tremendous game in all three zones for these players, for Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov. Aho played 6 minutes. Like, it's amazing. Oh, now to the defense ice time, because Jacob Slavin had played, I think, 11:15 through the first two periods. That's nothing. That's like a night off for Slavin. Like, you're talking about somebody who's going to be in the neighborhood of what, 17 minutes? If he plays just a normal third period. He did not play, narrator's voice. He did not play a normal third period. Slavin played 9:22 of the third. Almost a minute more than Jalen Chatfield, his partner, who played 8:23. Keandre Miller played 8:19 of the third. Sean Walker played 7:20 of the third. Shane Gostisbehere played 3.5 minutes. Alexander Nikishin played 3:10. So it got a little out of balance in terms of, overall, ice time for the third period. But in the game, other than Gostisbehere and Nikishin, who didn't play a lot, I think it was around 15 minutes tonight, Slavin went from dead last in ice time after two periods among defensemen to the most in the third period. Now, Walker and Miller, which is kind of typical so far, those guys led Carolina in time on ice. And again, I thought Carolina's blue line played really, really well, but most of it was defending in their own end. So now very quickly to a quick look at the standings. Carolina, 76 points, 35 wins. They have an 8-point cushion now on the Pittsburgh Penguins. You got one game left. Can they sprint through the tape and handle the Rangers like everybody else is doing at Madison Square Garden? Let's see what kind of energy Carolina's got for the final game for a 3-week span. Carolina is done for the pre-Olympic schedule on Thursday. They don't play again until 3 weeks from Thursday on the 26th. 21 days until Carolina's next game, 26th of February. It'll be right here against the Lightning. I think we've got the Lightning and the Red Wings both here, and then Carolina will play. I think two of them are here. Those two games are here. And then Carolina will play, of their last 23 games, 15 of them on the road. So Carolina's been a good road team anyway, but the schedule does tip the other way. Carolina's been at home, it seems, basically for like the entirety of the schedule post-Christmas. It seems like they've been at home forever. Like, I can't believe that. I thought maybe the Hurricanes played 50 home games and not 41 this year. So Carolina leads Pittsburgh by 8. The Islanders, who came back to beat the Penguins in overtime, they lead the Islanders by 9. They have games in hand. Actually, do they have a game in hand in Pittsburgh? They might. It doesn't matter. They have an 8-point cushion on the Penguins, a 9-point cushion on the Islanders. Columbus and Washington are 4 points behind the Islanders for the third spot in the Metro. Washington, though, has played a few more games. The Capitals are in real jeopardy of not making the playoffs. Be interesting to see, by the way, who gets Artemi Panarin. On Thursday, for the Rangers game, we'll talk obviously about the game, but we'll also spend some time talking about the trade deadline and of the available players. That Carolina's been linked to a bunch, and we'll go through that list of players Carolina's been linked to, and I'll give you my thoughts on the players that I would like to see Carolina add. And there are some good ones. There are some good ones out there. And I'll just say this. Michael Bunting isn't coming back, people. The Hurricanes went down that road once, and they went, you know what? Not really what we want. We thought we wanted that. No, as it turns out, not really. Yeah, I don't think Michael Bunting is the kind of player Carolina wants. So that's the top three in the Metro. In the Atlantic, Tampa's on 76 points as well, but they have games in hand on Carolina. They're, to me, the best team in the East. Detroit, 72 points. Buffalo, 70. They were overtime losers in Tampa tonight. Lightning scored with 26 seconds left to tie it, and then with 15 seconds left in overtime to win it. Darren Radish has 17 goals. He scored right before the end of regulation, and then Jake Gensel scored in the overtime to give the Lightning the win. Detroit, Buffalo, Montreal's also on 70 points. Boston's at 68. Ottawa, Florida, both on 61. So 7 points out of a playoff spot. And just keep this in mind. Boston's played really, really well. Buffalo has been the best team in the NHL basically for more than a month. I mean, their record is 21-4-2 in their last 27 games. 21-4-2. That is amazing. Florida, who, by the way, saw Sam Bennett added to the Canadian Olympic roster because of the injury to Anthony Cirelli. Bennett left yesterday's game with an injury. He left Monday's game with an injury, and they still put him on the roster. For those people who go, why didn't they add Seth Jarvis? I mean, I don't know the answer to that other than here's what I think. In that you lose a center like Cirelli and one who was going to be counted on to check the other team's top, some of the other team's top scorers, win faceoffs, do all of that. That isn't what Seth Jarvis does. He's a great defensive player, and he showed it tonight. But he's not a center. So if you're losing a center in Anthony Cirelli, theoretically you would add a center, not to mention everything that Sam Bennett brings to the table. The agitation, the physicality, the goal-scoring acumen, and some of that Jarvis has too. Certainly the playmaking ability, the two-way nature of him. All of that speaks to Seth Jarvis could have easily made the Canadian Olympic team. But if you're losing Anthony Cirelli, you got to add a center. And that's what they did. I was not surprised. That doesn't mean that Jarvis won't still go. There's games to be played and injuries to be had, apparently. Super win, even though Carolina didn't play their best. Ottawa was really good. And with that said, we're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. Appreciate your time. Appreciate everybody that tuned in here. Sorry we're scrambling around a little bit late. Didn't get a chance to go through the chat and say hi to people. But we got one more of these before the Olympic break. And, of course, we will check in during the Olympics because, well, there is nothing better other than playoff hockey than Olympic hockey. So until Thursday when the Canes take on the Rangers, I'm Adam Gold, and we will bid you adieu.